Welcome to Life Happens, where Texans come to protect their legacy and prepare for the second half of life. Join your host, attorney Kim Hegwood of Your Legacy Legal Care, and our weekly guest as we navigate the challenges that emerge as life happens. Now here's your host, Kim Hegwood.
Good morning and welcome to Life Happens with me, Kim Hegwood, and our very special guest today is Nancy Ruffner. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today we're going to talk about patient power with patient advocacy. And so I guess that's kind of a big clue, right? And as far as, what you do for a living. And so let's talk a little bit about that so that our listeners get, really some good information about, what you do and how you help people.
Happy to. The field of patient advocacy is really, we're a young profession born around 2009, consisting largely of nurses and social workers, but to the ranks we've added attorneys, physicians, paralegals, PAs, NPs, and a lot of medical insurance billing specialists and pharmacists. We're all designed to help people navigate a wacky healthcare system, one that's showing no signs of getting any easier. We're all about helping people to get the care that they deserve. To sum it up, we help people to understand their diagnosis and understand the options that are before them, and to help them have a voice. And that's why elder law attorneys and advanced directives are so important in our work too.
And so I can appreciate that because we see a lot of people that go through the healthcare system that come out confused, not really sure of their options. I think sometimes get taken advantage of because they don't understand the things that are going on. But you think about today with all the different medical diagnoses, that are out there, in the audiences, and there's a lot out there. So how do you learn all those different things, or do you learn, or do you specialize? How does a patient advocate really be good for for either all people or just a specific diagnosis?
That's a very good question. It's important to know that we will niche or specialize as well. Some of us are generalists. Some of us may specialize in cancer care or rare diseases or pediatrics, mental health, aging, and a lot more. So just as attorneys are responsible for knowing the law and then go to help different segments of the population to navigate legal matters. For example, you focus on elder care while others may be focusing on family law or personal injury or business law. The same with doctors. Medical providers are experts in the physical, cognitive, and emotional health, and they go on to help different populations with their specific illnesses. So they may be generalists. They may specialize in optical or neurology or pediatrics and so much more. We are the same. We help people to navigate that healthcare maze, journeying with them so that as they're impacted by everything that journey may entail, and that can be, your medical condition can spill over to your legal quickly, your housing, your insurance, your support. It has bearing on everything.
So I guess all this kind of begs the question of, Nancy, what do you specialize in?
I too niche. Thank you for asking. I specialize in aging strategy, and solo aging. And I speak to what I call the pie, 6-piece pie. It's medical, legal, financial, housing, insurance, and support. And so as we're going through, all of those things are being impacted, and we're bringing it along with and supplying the most information so that people can make solid decisions.
So we find that in my practice too, that solo agers are the ones that have the most struggle, I think,
Yes.
because they're lacking, a lot of family support, where, they don't have children. So it's not like the kids are going to take care of them. And, some of them don't even have siblings. They're only children and didn't have any children. So it makes it a lot more a lot more difficult. And so, so where do you think that solo agers struggle the most?
Well, thank you for recognizing solo aging, because it is a demographic hidden in plain sight often. We are a large part of the aging population, some 28%. And so it's there are a lot of us who have not been identified, have not self-identified. And so a lot of times no one is aware of the struggle of a solo ager. Now, there's a working definition for solo aging so that folks understand what that is. And those are people who are aging without the support that's traditionally provided by a built-in family. And so that brings to mind, never married, no children, that kind of thing. But it's actually a much larger definition. It can include folks who may have support, long distance caregivers that are just too long distance or too remote to be effective for support. Maybe they're not the best person for the job. That includes the dysfunctional family. And maybe the person that you're counting on is unavailable or unable. They may have their own hip surgery, or they may have their own, have a disability that prevents them from being your caregiver. So, and then there's burnout. There's just burnout. I think where folks struggle the most is where solo agers struggle the most is building support. Community is key for us, not only for day-to-day support, but to find that team, to build what I call a micro board of folks who are going to help me get it done, and realizing that I can do that through legal tools. So to me, that the recognition that legal tools hold the power to have your say. Not building community is one thing, but I think we struggle with how do we meet people that we can designate as our agent or proxy with power of attorney, both healthcare and financial. So often our worlds, as we age, are getting smaller at the exact time that we need them to get bigger. And we don't know how to meet people. We're not thrown into a classroom with them 8 hours a day anymore. And so it's difficult to meet new people as we're getting older, and to fight against that shrinking world. I learned this from an attorney, and it motivates me. She was talking about the importance of legal tools, and she said, we can all have a say about how things will go and where we'll end up. And the light bulb went on for me, because we can through conversation, building our team, developing our community, and working with an elder law attorney to make sure that these tools are ready to serve us. That's how we have our say about how things will go and where we'll end up.
And that's perfect. And so, because we usually recommend, when you've got solo agers, to do more trust planning, because then we can put corporate trustees in place, someone to manage the money. We use people like you and geriatric care managers to make sure the client's taken care of. So they get their legal documents, they get their financial support from corporate trustees because they manage the money. Then there's great people like you and the people that work in my office that help support them on all the other avenues. So it works out really nice. So that's good. I'm glad you're working with all those things as well, because I think that's important. And so. So where can solo agers best prepare for what may be ahead? And a second question is when do you recommend they start?
Oh, let me answer them in reverse. Start when you notice change. When change is coming for you or for somebody you love. I've walked in the shoes of an adult child who was assisting her aging parents. Now I'm walking in the shoes of a solo ager who needs to especially plan. I think the best way is to take stock. What's right, what's in place, what needs shoring up. I think that I think folks can arm themselves by watching webinars and listening to podcasts like you offer. sit in some seminars. Attorneys are holding these. They're there for the taking. Do some reading. There's a lot online. And may I just say that as solo aging begins to become better known, there's a lot more online about solo aging and how to navigate the challenges. They're not only online, Forbes writes about it, AARP writes about it, the top, Kaiser, all the top New York Times, all the top media outlets are picking up on this, and there's much information to be gleaned. And also the thought leaders and the authors. There are books in your library right now that you can check out at no cost to you to help arm yourself.
So now that you've told us how experienced you are, and that's awesome. There's nothing like personal experience to really, hone your skills. Mm-hmm. And for sure. And so definitely. So tell our listeners how they find you if they need some help as well.
Well, I Google well. There are a lot of provider links through some of our professional organizations that have searchable directories. One of them is Greater National Advocates, gnanow.org. There's also NAHC, which is NAHAC, National Association of Healthcare Advocacy Consultants. Another organization called Umbra and one called Solace. All have directories to help you find patient advocates. You can also, I'll connect you. I do work with people nationally, but if you need boots on ground close to you, I'll help you navigate those directories. I'll help put you in touch with somebody. You can email me at nancy@nancyruffner.com. My website is the same, nancyruffner.com. I'm active on LinkedIn, and I have a very robust Facebook page, which is just rolling with information about aging strategy and solo aging.
Perfect. Nancy, this is great information for our listeners, and I so appreciate you being on today, and we look forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Life Happens with Kim Hegwood. Be sure to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. wherever you listen to your podcast as we navigate through the challenges that emerge as life happens. The content of this podcast does not establish an attorney-client relationship or constitute attorney-client privilege, legal, medical, financial, or any other professional advice.